Welcome to the Voice of Thunder. I am Cylas Carter, and today I'm talking to Greg Martin. Thanks for sitting down with me, Greg.
Thank you for having me, Cylas.
Greg, how'd you get started racing?
When I was a senior in high school, I built my first race car, and it was a mini stock. And I started racing at Atomic Speedway and at Crossville Motor Speedway with the help of Chuck Hope Jr. and his dad, Chuck Hope. And I worked there in high school and started racing as soon as I graduated high school. I started racing that summer.
You also have some NASCAR experience. Tell us a little bit about that.
I worked as a technical inspector in NASCAR from like 2004 to like 2007, and I worked in the template line where they work and do the car inspections where they come through the line for tech, and then I also worked as an over-the-wall official to work at pit stalls and that, and I worked there for about 3 years, and then I had met what then was to be my wife, Tiffany, and I realized that I just wasn't going to travel anymore, and so I gave up that to be home.
Now we all know that you drive the 24 car, but how did you decide on the number 24?
It's funny, the gentleman that I worked for when I was in high school, Chuck Hope, he was number 23, and I was torn between wanting to be either 24 or 1, but I never did like the number 1 because I knew I was not always going to be number 1. So I decided that I needed to be something other than that, so it was either I wanted to be 22 or 24 to be right next to Chuck. So I decided that 24 was my number, and that's where I started.
Greg, you ran with the American Crate All-Star Series last season. Where can we expect you this season?
I think I'll just go back to more of just racing when and where I want to race, and when my equipment is ready to race. I guess where I've traveled so much in my life in racing that to me I'm not that guy to travel hardly past 2 or 3 hours away to race hardly anymore. So more or less you'll see me around home, close to this area, and I'll go off to some of the weekends when you can race 2 or 3 times in a weekend, and it makes it worth it to go. But just more or less just pick and choose and try to do and work around family stuff and just see where I end up.
You raced at several different tracks. Which one is your favorite and why?
411's probably one of my favorites there, and Bulls Gap. Atomic by far was my favorite, but we don't have that no more. But 411, I do like going there. I like it because for one, they run their show timely, and you're out of there in a timely manner. The racing is usually always good, and it's not rough on equipment, and it's not rough on tires. So it's just a good place to go, and it's family-oriented kind of place. So I like going there, and then I like Bulls Gap. I like the high bank racing stuff, and I like going up there as often as I can.
Okay, Greg, you park in Victory Lane. How do you celebrate? Can you show us some moves?
Usually, I'm just one to, I don't get overly excited, I don't think, or jump on my roof or nothing like that. I do feel like that, Victory Lane's something that you're gained, off of hard work and that. So it's I try not to I guess celebrate too boastfully or try to act crazy because you never know when the next one may be.
Your fans see you at the track, but what are you doing whenever you're not racing?
I like water sports for sure. I like going to the lake. That's one of my favorite summer things that I like to do, and it tears me between racing and going to the lake, obviously. And the older I get, the more I want to, go to the lake more. It seems like. But I like in the winter. I like snow skiing. And doing that kind of stuff. I guess I'm more of an outdoors guy, but I'm not into the hunting and fishing, that kind of outdoors. But catch me more, spending time with my little girl Ansley, and watching her, trying to, I want to try to get her into racing a little bit more this summer, and spend a little more time with her and try to get her going.
All right, Greg, the people want to know, Ford or Chevy?
Oh, Chevy all the way.
There are tons of chassis out there to choose from. Which is your favorite and why?
I guess obviously Longhorn is my choice. I'm a Longhorn dealer and sell Longhorn cars. But I work on any and all cars. I don't care if it's Longhorn, Rocket, Savage, CVR. In my line of work, I work on anything, street stocks, 4-cylinders, whatever. I do try to help out the lower class guys because I know what it was like, and I feel like I started there with those guys, and always looked up to people that do this in the sport and do this kind of work. So I am partial, to what I sell and what I'm a dealer for, but there are many makes of good race cars.
We've seen some of your sponsors in your car last season. Who will be riding along with you in 2021?
Everything's going to stay the same. I did pick up one new sponsor. It's called Hot Rod Septic Treatment. You'll see it on Kyle Larson's car. And you'll see it on Bloomquist's car this year. And it's a new sponsor that I had them last year, but I got a little better, deal with them for this year, and they've come on board, full time with me. And then I'll have the Momentum Telecom will be back with me as well for 2021. Cotton Eye Joe is back. Selk Sanitation out of Crossville is back with me. Electronics Express out of Knoxville is with me. Ronnie Crace Construction is back, and Building Systems Technology. They're back with me this year. So I think everybody came back, and then I added one new one. So
you're chilling at home in your recliner. What's on your TV?
Man, I've watched Lucas Oil TV all week this week at East Bay. East Bay is one of my favorite racetracks in the world to go to as a fan and to watch racing. They tear up so much, and I'm not a big fan of that. But as far as racing goes and a dirt late model race fan, I love watching at East Bay.
What track do you have the most wins at?
Probably, it was definitely Atomic, and then now probably to this day it would be 411.
If you could pick any 3 drivers to race against in a winner-takes-all shootout, who would it be?
You race against a lot of good guys around here anyway. I really enjoyed getting to race with Randy Weaver this year. That was something that you always look up to when you get to race against super late model guys. But and then racing at the end of the year at Bulls Gap with a bunch of super guys with Jimmy Owens and Ricky Weiss was there, and then Welshon is probably one of the hard-nosed racers that we race with that's a super or a crate guy. But really, we have a lot of good racers in this area. And, there's some you definitely don't want to race with that you have issues with here and there. But for the most part, I feel like where we come from and where we're based out of here, we at any given racetrack in East Tennessee, there's hands down some of the most talented guys to race with.
Okay, one last question just for fun. Can I marry your daughter? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
That is a good joke because I give Ansley a hard time about you a ton. I really do, and it's funny because I always tell her, I'm like, Cylas is my favorite, no matter what. Just giving her a hard time, but I guess if I was going to let her marry anybody, I'd want her to marry somebody in racing. so I hope you stick in here and keep doing what you're doing.
Okay, here's the real question. You're in a pit crew, go to a go-kart track. Who's wrecking and who's winning?
Well, anybody that knows my crew, they're all going to be wrecking. I'm going to be there to win, but my crew that runs around with me, they're definitely going to be trying to probably hurt me and put me out.
Thanks again, Greg, for sitting down with us. Join us next time, and don't forget to like and subscribe. This is the voice of Thunder, Cylas Carter. Chase your dreams, mash the gas, and never lift.